Vasquez Lasso, and a suspect has been charged in the case.
And one day after a jury found him guilty of killing his wife and son, disgraced attorney Alec Murdaugh will face sentencing. It is Friday, March 3rd.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner. It is an AccuWeather alert day, so let's get straight to meteorologist Heisel Martinez, who is in for Tracy this morning. Heisel.
Good morning, Val and Terrell. Yes, we are looking at a winter storm here this afternoon. If you look here on radar, it looks like it's just rain, but we will have that transition over to snow later today. The very northern edge of this storm system now approaching our area, expecting to get some rain here between about 8 in the morning up until about 10 in the morning. That's how it slowly starts to move in. Live Doppler 7 Max showing you that we do have some very light precipitation now starting to pop up here. And as we go through this afternoon, we will transition from rain to snow. Here's a look at our snow map to show you that we're expecting about 1 to 3 inches of snow here in Chicago. But we're looking at a very sharp cutoff from this. Notice just south of Chicago, we're looking at about 2 to 4, and then into parts of northwest Indiana, 4 to 8 inches of snow from this system, and it's going to be the wet, heavy snow that could potentially bring down some power lines. Roz?
Well, right now, things are pretty calm. I think folks are heeding the warning. They're either staying home or they're commuting because we don't have a lot of volume out there. Average 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 on the Kennedy, but that's nothing compared to what we usually see at this time in the morning. And we do have a couple of problems out there. It's got this crash westbound on I-80 near Center Street. It was involving an overturned semi. Looks like they're getting some of those lanes open now because we still have log jam, but it seems to be passing through at the area at Center Street a little bit better than it was. The other situation, this is a terrible situation that happened many hours ago northbound on the Tri-State in Northbrook at Sanders. Chopper 7 is over the scene where only the left lane remains open. A woman, apparently her vehicle became disabled. It was on the right shoulder there, and she stepped out of the car and was struck and killed by another vehicle. And this investigation has been going on since 11:30 last night. Now it looks like they are making some progress. They may be opening up a lane, but right now we're looking at a 3 to 4 mile backup for northbound traffic on 294 approaching the scene. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, horrible news this morning. Thank you. A suspect has now been charged in the murder of CPD officer Andres Vasquez Lasso.
Yeah, meanwhile, his loved ones are remembering him. Last night, a large crowd got together that included his widow. You see her here attending a vigil at Hale Park on the southwest side. Jessica D'Onofrio was live at the 8th District Police Station in Chicago Lawn. That's where he was based. Jess.
Val and Terrell, a suspect, as you mentioned, is now charged with first-degree murder. But this morning, he remains in a local hospital in critical condition. Police say 18-year-old Steven Montano was chasing a woman with a gun. As Officer Andres Vasquez Lasso ran after him to try to stop him, authorities say Montano turned and shot the 32-year-old officer repeatedly at close range. Montano was shot in the head in an exchange of gunfire with Officer Vasquez Lasso. And now we're learning Montano has a history with police. This mugshot taken after he was arrested last year in July for allegedly running from a stolen car. He was charged with resisting or obstructing an officer, but the charges were later dropped. Now, in relation to the police shooting, prosecutors are piling on multiple felony and misdemeanor counts, including first-degree murder, assault, and interfering with a domestic violence call. Meanwhile, Officer Vasquez Lasso's widow attended a candlelight vigil at Hale Park last night. Chicago police officers among the large crowd.
The Chicago Police Department lost one of our brothers, Andres. Law enforcement lost one of their brothers. His family lost their brother.
I knew him more than 13 years. He's my close friend. I lost a brother as well, and I'm shook.
Funeral arrangements have yet to be announced. Meanwhile, a bond hearing for the suspect is set for today, but he remains hospitalized and under police guard. Val and Terrell.
All right, Jess, thank you. We have much more coverage on the death of Officer Vasquez Lasso and the suspect charged in his murder. You can find it on our website and our news apps.
In the wake of David Brown announcing his resignation as Chicago's top cop, more changes could be coming involving the men and women in blue. Today, members of the Fraternal Order of Police vote for a union president. Diane Pathieu is live from FOP headquarters in the West Loop with more on this, Diane.
FOP members are voting for a new president today. Union members will have to choose between the current president, John Catanzara, and Detective Robert Bartlett for a 3-year term. During his term, Catanzara has faced criticism for his contentious relationship with Mayor Lightfoot and other city leaders. He's also been accused of making controversial statements. According to the Chicago Tribune, Bartlett is a 24-year veteran of the department and hopes to rebuild the FOP's relationships with leaders and provide more transparency. In-person voting here at the Union Hall begins at 9 o'clock this morning. Back to you.
Diane, thanks. When I get to this situation, it was breaking overnight. 2 men are in serious condition right now. There was a shooting in Chicago's Irving Park neighborhood, 3900 block of North Lowell. Both victims are in their 20s. Police say they were standing in an alley just after 9:30 last night when someone opened fire. We're told that a gun and a knife were found there, but we don't know if it's connected to this incident. And there's also no word this morning of any arrests.
Today, court will resume and reconvene for sentencing in the Alex Murdaugh case. A jury found him guilty on all counts yesterday in the shooting deaths of his wife and his son. ABC's Faith Abube joins us live from Washington with more on the tangled case.
Good morning to you, Val. After weeks and weeks of testimony, it took less than 3 hours for that jury to return a unanimous guilty verdict.
Disgraced former South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh leaving the Colleton County Courthouse in handcuffs moments after a jury found him guilty in the deaths of his son and wife.
Verdict, guilty.
The 12-person jury unanimously convicting Murdaugh on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possessing a weapon during a violent crime. A dramatic end to the 6-week trial, full of twists and turns. Prosecutors unraveling a double murder case tied to lies, corruption, and financial crimes by the once powerful lawyer.
The evidence of guilt is overwhelming.
Murdaugh's wife and son were shot to death near the family's dog kennels on June 7, 2021. The 54-year-old's alibi questioned after prosecutors revealed his voice was caught on this video shot by his late son minutes before the murders.
Hey, Bubba.
Murdaugh finally admitting on the witness stand that he lied to investigators about the last time he saw the victims.
Why in the world would an innocent, reasonable father and husband lie about that?
Murdaugh also admitted to stealing millions of dollars from his clients and law firm. The defense pushing back.
Even if the financial day of reckoning was impending, if it was right there, Alec would not have killed the people he loved the most in the world.
But despite no murder weapon or hard evidence tying Murdaugh to the crime, the jury returning a quick guilty verdict.
They closed off any pathways that the defense tried to make to create reasonable doubt in this case.
Well, Murdaugh will be back in court later on this morning for his sentencing. Prosecutors were not seeking the death penalty, but the disbarred lawyer faces 30 years to life in prison without parole. Val, Terrell,
Faith Abube, appreciate it in Washington this morning. Faith, thank you so much. The 2 candidates in Chicago's mayoral runoff are wasting no time campaigning and trying to line up endorsements. Jesse White has endorsed Paul Vallis. The former Illinois Secretary of State says Chicago neighborhoods will be better because of Vallis, saying that he would make residents and visitors safer. Brandon Johnson, meanwhile, campaigned yesterday at a home for seniors in Bronzeville. Earlier in the day, he visited riders at the 95th Street CTA Red Line stop. He said he had not spoken to Jesse White about an endorsement. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle has reached out to former mayoral candidate Willie Wilson and urged him to endorse Johnson.
While this is new this morning, hundreds of Chicagoans will be racing to combat hunger tomorrow. It's the annual Shitarod, Chicago's shopping cart race. The races will be decked out in colorful costumes, all to raise food and monetary donations for the Greater Chicago Food Depository and other local organizations. Since its inception 18 years ago, volunteers have collected 156,000 pounds of food for Chicago's hungry and raised more than $500,000 for local nonprofits fighting hunger. And I believe that's Shitarod. Which I did not say. Because I saw it.
It's like one of those things. It's like,
yeah.
wait a minute. Yeah, been there before. Been there today.
I did it. Spell that.
Yeah, right.
Let's give that to our spelling bee champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Whitney
See
Young,
what he comes up with.
where excellence is the standard.
Is he going to be on the show? Or we're going to invite them? Oh, we're going to see if we can get him on the show next week. It's a great idea. We'll ask him.
Call,
yeah.
You're live in local news, just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. Coming up, the plans in place to screen waste coming into Indiana from that Ohio train derailment site.
Hi, Saul.
Good morning. If you're looking out your window right now, it's just cloudy out there. Once you step out, it'll feel chilly. We're looking at some rain to push in this morning here in the next couple of hours. We'll talk more about this coming up.
Welcome back. ComEd says it is ready for the changing weather conditions. The utility will open its emergency operations center this morning and bring in 300 extra crews from other states. The winter storm is coming just a week after heavy rain and ice knocked out power for more than 100,000 customers around Illinois. ComEd is reminding people not to approach downed power lines. Heisel Martinez is standing by right now with a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Heisel.
Cloudy right now, but yes, we are looking at a winter storm headed our way. So a winter storm warning in effect for parts of our area, northwest Indiana, also Kankakee County included in this. And this is from noon all the way until 10 p.m. Notice the rest of us, so Chicago and into parts of our western suburbs, looking at a winter weather advisory. And that's because we're expecting less, but there will still be some slick conditions later this afternoon. Wind between about 10 and 15 miles per hour. Right now, it's just a little breezy every now and then, but wind will really start to pick up as we head into this afternoon, and we're expecting to get wet, heavy snow. On top of that, have windy conditions, so there could be some that heavy wet snow could drag down some of those tree limbs, and that could break and then perhaps cause some power outages later today. With our temperatures into the mid-30s, we're expecting that wet, heavy snow for us. So we do have that heavy rain just to our south. Zooming in to show you that the very northern edge of this storm now starting to push into our area. We'll have some rain showers here from about 8 until 10 this morning, and then we transition over to snow, expecting to get the heaviest snow between about 2 and 7 p.m. After that, that system starts to move out of here. So 2 to 7 p.m., afternoon, evening, dinner plans, all of that. Our roads will have some slush on it. Notice here for Chicago about 1 to 3, and then just south of that, including Gary, Joliet, down through Morris, about 2 to 4 inches of snow, and then it's into parts of northwest Indiana, maybe even into parts of Kankakee County that we could get 4 to 8 inches of snow from the system. That's why we have that AccuWeather alert for today. This weekend, we'll do some melting of that snow with temperatures in the 40s, and then even starting next week with temperatures in the 50s. Roz?
We're looking at very low travel times, but we do have a CTA delay just cropped up. It's on Forest Park bound Blue Line trains. Earlier mechanical problem with the train at the Chicago station. The travel times, though, are really 20 minutes, 25 minutes, very, very manageable. but we still have this ongoing situation. Oh, we have a new crash, almost forgot, outbound Dan Ryan near 87th, and that just happened, and it is starting to cause some delays. 2 left lanes are blocked with that. But the situation with almost a 4-mile backup is northbound on the Tri-State at Sanders, and that's where Chopper 7 is. This was a deadly crash involving a pedestrian struck and killed by another vehicle, and it looks like they're finally making some progress. We've seen a couple of the emergency vehicles leave the scene, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to open up some lanes. It's just a terrible situation up there. And that traffic, as you can see, is solid. It's backed up all the way to Central, almost to Gulf Road in the Des Plaines area, up to Sanders in Northbrook. Val and Terrell, back to you.
All right, Roz, thank you. New outrage over the toxic train derailment in Ohio 1 month ago today. Residents at a town hall meeting last night made it clear they're not satisfied with the answers they're getting. ABC's Derek Dennis has more.
In East Palestine, Ohio,
we're all scared.
Neighbors not holding back, confronting Norfolk Southern representatives over the toxic train derailment that upended their lives.
My grandchildren, my children, wow. It's not safe here, sir. We're sick.
If this happened in your richer neighborhood, would it have been cleaned up a lot faster?
People that have symptoms, they shouldn't be dismissed.
Officials with the rail company and the EPA in the hot seat. The mayor at times playing referee.
I just want to know why people are getting sick. So do I.
The EPA announcing it will now require Norfolk Southern to test for dioxins, cancer-causing chemicals residents fear could be present after the controlled burn of those derailed cars.
Some people don't have nowhere to go, some don't have the means. I have my family of 5 living in a 1-bedroom right now at my brother's house, all of us on a blow-up mattress. You know, because I'm not stupid.
Despite officials declaring the water and air safe, neighbors say they're still experiencing headaches, stomach issues, and coughing.
This is not something we asked for, sir. I'm begging you, by the grace of God, please get our people out of here. Yes!
Amid calls for new rail safety measures, Norfolk Southern has now agreed to a request from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to join the so-called close call reporting system, which allows employees to confidentially report safety concerns, something the company says it's previously done on its own. As for the investigation, officials are now looking into whether some of the protective aluminum covers on the rail cars melted, contributing to the disaster. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
President Biden says he will visit East Palestine, Ohio, quote, at some point to check on the cleanup after that toxic train derailment. Meanwhile, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb says a nationally recognized lab will conduct third-party testing on material being transported from the site. The contaminated soil and liquid waste is being moved to a hazardous waste disposal site in Rochdale, Indiana. That's west of Indianapolis, about 50 miles from the Illinois state line.
Eyewitness News, streaming at 7, continues after a break.
We are learning more about the Highland Park shooting investigation. It comes from the now unsealed federal search warrants agents used to get into the shooting suspect's home. As reported by the I-Team last July, agents found bomb-making materials inside Robert Crimo III's home, including the explosive tenorite. The warrant also shows a timer, matches, and electrical components, all discovered during the search. Crimo allegedly told investigators he considered using bombs at the parade, but said the components were too heavy to carry. Crimo is charged with murdering 7 people and hurting dozens more at that 4th of July parade. Former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visits Chicago today. The current California Congresswoman will handle and headline a fundraiser for Democratic women. The event also honors female leaders in the Illinois House during Women's History Month. That's at RPM Seafood. After the fundraiser, Pelosi will join a conversation on leadership at the University of Chicago.
Today, a city council committee will go over a plan to use technology to go after drivers who block bike lanes. The proposal would create 2 pilot programs in downtown Chicago. The programs will use cameras and license plate readers to capture cars blocking bike lanes, bus lanes, crosswalks, and loading zones. Tickets would then be issued to those drivers.
Also happening today here in Chicago, tickets go on sale for the Guns N' Roses concert at Wrigley Field. The August 24th show is part of the band's 2023 World Tour. Tickets will be available starting at 10 a.m. on the Guns N' Roses website.
Also today, it's J. Ivy Day. Mayor Lightfoot issued the proclamation to honor the Chicago native who made history at the Grammys. Ivy won the first Grammy for spoken word poetry. He helped to create that new category. He also celebrates his birthday today, my man.
And he's also going to be on Windy City Weekend.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
In person. And happy birthday to Jay Ivy, of course. Very talented. He performed on Windy City Live years ago.
Right. Remember you telling me about that.
So big congratulations to him. Huge honor.
Look at him now doing all kinds of big
I wonder if
things.
he's going to bring the Grammy with him.
That would be awesome, right?
I don't know if he's, well, he's
You're
up and up. Yeah.
Great.
And getting ready. It's your birthday. You got to be up. Happy birthday. All right.
Grammy.
Right now, we are going to join our Good Morning America viewers. Tanya Babbage will have a news update on TV in just a bit. You're going to see that here as well.
And later on in the hour, do you want to get away? How about a cruise that lasts 3 years? We're going to talk about it in the Talkers. It's on the way.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Tanya Babbage. A suspect has now been charged in the murder of Chicago police officer Andres Vasquez Lasso. And today, the case will be in bond court. 18-year-old Stephen Montano is charged with first-degree murder. This mugshot is from a prior arrest. Police say he shot and killed Officer Vasquez Lasso during a chase in Gage Park on Wednesday. Montano was critically injured in an exchange of gunfire and is hospitalized in critical condition. Last night, a large crowd, which included the officer's family, gathered for a candlelight vigil at Hale Park in the officer's honor. It is an AccuWeather alert day. Here's meteorologist Jaisel Martinez.
We have some rain that will start to push in here in the next couple of hours, looking to get that rain to transition over to snow later this afternoon, expecting to get about 1 to 3 inches of snow here in Chicago, and then just south about 2 to 4, northwest Indiana expecting to get 4 to 8 inches of snow. And this is where we do have the potential to perhaps have some power outages because it's going to be that wet, heavy snow. And on top of that, it's also going to be windy. We will, though, be doing some melting as we go into this weekend. I think tomorrow we will be partly cloudy. Temperatures will be into the mid-40s. Sunday we'll have a little bit more sunshine. It's quiet. Winds are light. We're talking a temperature close to about 45. And then next week, we wash away a lot of this with temperatures into the 50s.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back to a very light rush hour on the expressways, only 25-minute average travel times. But of course, it's Friday. That's kind of typical. And with the storm coming later, a lot of folks staying home. Now, we do have a little bit of good news about this horrible crash. Northbound on the Tri-State near Sanders, Chopper 7 is over the scene. For 7 hours, there was only one lane open. This was a deadly crash involving a pedestrian, but they have finally finished the investigation, open lanes. We still have delays for about 4 miles, though.
Welcome back. It's 7:27. Right now, everything looks fine. The roads are clear. Sky just a little bit cloudy, but Hazel Martinez is watching a big storm making its way to our area. She'll have the details on that coming up in just a bit. One of the happiest cities in America is right in our own backyard.
Yeah, can you guess? You probably can. I mean, because they make the list on everything. The west suburb city of Aurora. This is Aurora's second time on the happiest list from the website Wallet Hub. The city ranked 19th, up from the 21st spot last year. And the happiest city of all, Fremont and the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh.
Yeah, look at them out there getting it.
I would oh,
the cutie right there. Yeah, Aurora's come in like with the best trick-or-treating, the best water, the happiest place. I need to get out to Aurora a little more.
Yeah, and they've got a big old shopping outlet out there.
That's right.
They've got that big outlet out there. So, yeah, definitely. It's a nice little trek, but it's worth the ride, clearly.
Yep. Coming up this morning, I'm going to check in with Hi Sol and Roz for an update on weather and travel times this morning. That's coming up next.
watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7. Streaming live now.
Bottom of the hour now at 7:30, taking a look at the morning's top stories. The loved ones of fallen Chicago police officer Andres Vasquez Lasso are remembering him. His family, friends, and fellow officers got together at a vigil last night at Hale Park on the city's southwest side. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old, Stephen Montano, has now been charged with first-degree murder in the officer's death. Monanto remains in the hospital this morning in critical condition. His case goes to bond court today.
FOP members are voting for a new president today. The choice is between current president John Catanzara and Detective Robert Bartlett for a 3-year term. During his term, Catanzara has faced criticism for his contentious relationship with Mayor Lori Lightfoot and other city leaders. The Chicago Tribune reports that Bartlett is a 24-year-old veteran of the department and hopes to rebuild the FOP's relationships with leaders.
A new exhibit opens in Aurora today. It's called Hidden Warriors, the history of the women in the military. The exhibit showcases the personal stories of women in the armed forces, including 23-year-old Marine Corporal Sarah Medina. The Aurora native was killed while serving in Nepal. The exhibit runs through September 30th at the Grand Army of the Republic Military Museum.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Terrell Brown over on the couch this morning. Let's go outside, see what's going on. So we've got the calm and the cloudy skies right here, right now. Got anything to do today? Now's the time to do it. It's going to get rough out there a little later on, I saw.
Yes, we have some rain now pushing in and then eventually transitioning over to snow. So the very northern edge of this storm system now moving into our area. You can see that there. I'll zoom in here and show you live Doppler 7 Max that is showing some of this precipitation now moving into our very southern suburbs. This might not be hitting the ground, but it will soon. It's coming in with some heavy precipitation that will transition over to some heavy wet snow. So expecting to get about 1 to 3 here in Chicago as we get to areas just south of that, about 2 to 4 possible. And then northwest Indiana getting 4 to 8 inches of snow from this system into northwest Indiana, along with some wind. We could potentially have some power outages because of that heavy wet snow. So we do have some rain moving in here this morning. And again, the heaviest of snow will fall between about 2 and 7 p.m. Roz.
We have a new crash up in Lake County. This is in Deer Park on westbound Lake Cook Road, just east of US 12. And we are seeing delays on both of those streets, Lake Cook and US 12. Now, as far as the expressways go, a little bit more volume, maybe 25 to 30-minute travel times, but that's not nearly the delay we're seeing at the north end of the tri-state on the northbound side at Sanders. But the good news is, take a look, Chopper 7 is over it. They have opened up all lanes. Northbound at Sanders, that's where we had that deadly crash involving a pedestrian, and the investigation took hours. The traffic is still backed up for about 3 miles, but hopefully now that all lanes are open, Val and Terrell, that traffic should filter through.
Okay. All right. I know you'll be watching it, Ross. Thank you so much.
Bit.
Yeah, right. Let's get to the talkers this morning.
We're going to start with a going crisis for King Charles, barely 2 months from his coronation.
Yeah, so apparently nobody wants to perform at his coronation. The list of artists who have declined is going up by the day. That includes Adele, Elton John, Harry Styles. Even the Spice Girls said no.
Right.
So most are not saying why they're declining. Some have cited scheduling conflicts.
Suspect.
King Charles is set to be crowned on May 6th. Ooh.
Nobody, I mean, somebody.
Knows. Well, I mean, okay.
Somebody will do it. Somebody who wants to.
I wonder if he knows, right? Like, I wonder if, like, what's going through his head right now, what he thinks is the reason that nobody wants to come. Like, is he telling himself, oh, it's just a scheduling issue with everybody? Or does he think, man, nobody, right? Is he the people like, yo, nobody wants to come to my coronation?
Never thought this would happen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, but it's up to the artist, you know?
Yeah. And apparently none of them want to celebrate him.
Well.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is, right?
Continuing saga.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, who's out there that's desperate to get back on the map? That's
what I'm saying.
Like, there's got to be somebody that they haven't hit up yet that's like, ooh,
right.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes, Teddy Pendergrass, Boyz II Men.
Is he still alive?
Is Teddy Pendergrass still alive?
Lord,
that's a good question.
You know what? I might be thinking about.
Oh yeah, he is.
Barry
White.
Yeah, no,
right.
he's not.
He's not either. Yeah.
Oh, but Barry Manilow will be good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I love him.
Yeah. There's got to be somebody who wants to perform. They'll get somebody out there.
All right.
If you're looking for something to do for the next couple of years and you have a little extra cold hard cash to spend,
Life at Sea Cruises has an idea for you. The company is now taking reservations for the world's first 3-year cruise. By the numbers, it will cover more than 130,000 miles, visit 375 ports, and 135 countries. The yearly price tag is about $30,000 for the world tour. Now, if you break it down by month, that's about $2,500 per month in rent. The cruise line is targeting those who are not tied to an office. There is several workplaces on board, including the sun deck and the swimming pool.
I'm so jealous of people who can even think about doing something like this.
3 years
Right?
is a long.
It is a long
It'd be
time.
different if they gave you maybe a break after a year.
My parents don't have 30,000. Is it per year?
It was I only caught the breakdown.
Okay,
30,000.
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it was free, I feel like my parents would like this. My dad's retired now, and I you know, they need help getting to places, so they have the people at the cruise telling them where to go and what time to come back. So maybe it'd be good for that. You know, I wouldn't do it.
Look,
3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
It is.
Claustrophobic.
Yeah.
That's
those
true.
rooms are
Cruise ship,
tiny,
and they are
too.
small. Yeah, that's true.
I'd want to sleep in my own bed.
Yeah.
But y'all, you get to travel the world.
That part
You
is
know?
nice.
Yes,
Like,
that is.
Travel,
true.
could you do it in a month? 3
You could-
months?
you could
What if it were
probably-
3 months versus 3 years?
Well,
That's a big
it's
difference.
a huge
Do it in a
difference.
year. I've heard of people doing this for a year.
Yeah. And if you work from, if you can be somebody who can work remote and do it from anywhere you want, why not?
That's true.
I'm down with it. If I could, and this is like, if you could afford it, if you can get the time off from work, if you don't have a family, all things considered.
Okay, that leaves all of us out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Nobody can do it. Yeah.
None of us. All right, dictionary.com just added 313 new words and terms to its site.
Including a bunch of slang terms that you might not have heard before. So that includes 2 new terms that involve cake. Here is that list. So we start with cakeage. It's a fee that's charged by a restaurant for bringing you your own cake, kind of like corkage. It's the fee that comes with wine, but instead it's with cake.
Who knew?
It's interesting, right? There's cakeism, comes from the term have your cake and eat it too. The false belief that one can enjoy the benefits of 2 choices that are in fact mutually exclusive, or have it both ways. Digital nomad, that's a person who works remotely while traveling for leisure, especially when having no fixed permanent address. A digital nomad would be perfect for those cruises.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A nearly wed, a person who lives with someone in a life partnership, sometimes engaged with no planned wedding date. I know a few of those too.
Wed. I do
Nearly
too.
wed. Yeah, and they're okay.
Yeah.
And they're cool with it.
Hey,
Whatever
do
works.
what you want to do.
Exactly.
Hey, no judgment.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Cakeage. I didn't know that you could even be charged a fee for them bringing
yeah.
that. Do they do that?
Yeah.
I thought that was like on the house for your birthday. Hey.
I've never been charged, and we used to do that all the time. We'd go out for like families, and we'd bring our own cake in.
Yeah.
But I know that there are places that do it.
That do charge you.
Wow. Well, this day and age, everything has a cost.
Everything, right? Yeah. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and said it was your birthday and it wasn't your birthday?
Just to get the free cake.
Get you some free cake.
I haven't in a long time, but I have in my life. Yes,
yeah.
probably
Yep.
back in my college days.
I like to say, like, please don't say anything. Please don't say anything. That's me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would never fake it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so you don't want
You don't want the attention.
No.
Oh, nah, I want sparklers.
That's right. So we're going to get you. We got to learn your birthday. We're going to hook you
You'll
up.
never know when it is.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
We'll get the I-team on it.
Eyewitness News streaming out loud this morning. We'll take a quick break. We're back with more in 90 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. We are starting to see a little bit of some light rain start to push into our southern suburbs. This rain continuing to push in this morning and then transitioning over to snow later this afternoon. It's going to be that heavy wet snow that we have around, but I also want you to keep in mind that there's going to be a sharp cutoff from this system where some of our northern suburbs might just get a little bit of rain through the day today. But regardless of that, we are talking impacts for our afternoon and evening commute, where the areas that do get snow into the city and south, that's the best chance. We're looking at some slush on our roads later today. Wind right now just right around 10 to 20 miles per hour, expecting to get windy later this afternoon, and with some wet heavy snow, there is that potential to have some power outages, and that's going to be for northwest Indiana here as we go into the afternoon and evening. And that's because our temperatures right now are in the mid 30s, and they pretty much stay there as this storm approaches. And so that's why we're talking that heavy wet snow for us. That system bringing in some heavy rain just to our south, approaching our area here. Notice here the northern edge of this now starting to push into parts of our southern suburbs, expecting to get about 1 to 3 inches of snow here in the city, and then just south about 2 to 4. That's including Gary, Joliet, and Morris, and then into parts of northwest Indiana and even parts of Kankakee County. We could have about 4 to 8 inches of snow from this system. So that's why we have that AccuWeather alert. We will have some impacts on our roads later this afternoon, and again, that chance to have some power outages in northwest Indiana with the heavy wet snow and wind. Saturday and Sunday temperatures will be into the 40s, doing some melting. Roz?
We are looking at really decent conditions on the roads. I mean, first of all, it's Friday. We always see lighter volume on Fridays. Right now, we're seeing about a 25-minute average travel time on the inbound expressways, which is really nothing. The only problem that we're still seeing is this residual delay on the tri-state northbound approaching Sanders. Now, they have opened up all the lanes because they were doing an investigation, had only one lane open to traffic since 11:30 last night. But about 15 minutes ago, they were completing the investigation, opened up all the lanes from this deadly crash. And now traffic is starting to filter through a little bit. In fact, if we look at our camera that's just south of Willow Road, yes, the traffic there, it was bottlenecked almost as far back as Gulf, but now it's moving and it's still, we're seeing brake lights for about 2 miles. Tanya and Terrell.
Alrighty, Ross, thank you so much. Val's right here.
Right.
Hey, it is finally Friday, Val.
That's right. So let's get a check on festival. See, Ross just sent it back to us, so we can just send it right back to her. Hey, Ross.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. It gives me a chance to breathe because it has been a busy morning out there. But we're talking about snow, and since snow's in the forecast, we're starting with a chilly event on the lakefront. The Chicago Polar Plunge returns Sunday morning at 10 at North Avenue Beach. It's a very cool event. It benefits thousands of athletes in the Special Olympics Chicago and Special Children's Charities programs. All money raised stays right here in Chicago, and that is really cool. Now, on the other hand, you can celebrate Holi, the colorful Hindu springtime festival. Get out there and throw some colored powder right out there. They're going to have, it's all part of the Global Connection series. It's from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. You can throw those colored powders outside the Piers Beer Garden. Then you go inside and enjoy live music, dancing, and food in the Grand Ballroom. Ribbon in the Sky, such a beautiful song. At the Mercury Theater, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, a Stevie Wonder experience celebrates the genius of Stevie Wonder with moving stories and powerful music. It runs through March 12th. And the Valentine's Day Creamery Igloo experience was such a hit, they're doing it again for St. Patrick's Day. Now through March 31st, you can book your igloo at the Homer Glen, Manhattan, or New Lenox locations. You'll get one of these yummy specialty ice cream creations, and the Irish nachos is the one that seems to be getting a lot of buzz. Val and Terrell, I don't know, that looks really decadent, but so good.
Yeah.
Did I see ice cream on that?
That was ice cream, cookies, Cheerios, Fruit Loops.
Wow.
Everything. And green.
Maybe a little too sweet for me.
Right.
Roz, appreciate it. Thank you. Quick break. We're back after this.
Welcome back. This morning I want to tell you about an event happening this weekend that gives back to the community. It's National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, and some local troops are going to be rolling up their sleeves to help support the animals at Paws Chicago. Girl Scout troop leader Deon Hawkins joins us to talk more about this initiative and kind of tie it all together. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us, what is the significance behind National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend?
Okay, so National Girl Scout Cookie Week is an opportunity for people to purchase cookies and support local girl entrepreneurs by buying the lovely cookies. It reminds people to support girl entrepreneurs, and you're invited to purchase cookies and invest in girls' leadership programs.
You know, I've seen a lot of site sales going on, and every time I pass one by, I always buy some. So let's tie this together. Why are Girl Scouts and Paws Chicago teaming up?
Well, it's a volunteer program where we're being able for the girls to be able to go and do a service project. So they are going to go to Paws. They're going to work with the dogs and the cats. They're going to do some light cleaning and try to interact with the dogs and the pets, so that it's just an interaction program. It's also a service project for the girls.
It's a great way for them to donate their time. I bet they're really thrilled to be doing this, yeah?
Oh, they're super excited. Everyone's, they're making blankets to donate so that everyone can have a little pet blanket. And they're pretty excited about this whole experience of being able to interact with the pets.
So how can interested members or volunteers get involved in Girl Scouts?
Oh, that's easy. All you have to do is go online to Girl Scouts of Greater Chicago and Northwest Indiana, and there'll be a link that says join now, and you can join to be a volunteer within a troop. There's lots of information about how to join, where to join, and there are a lot of troops that could need people to volunteer. You can volunteer also for an entire troop or maybe one-time experiences. So it's up to you what you are able to do.
And we have all that information up on our screen. And I brought with cookies. Deon Hawkins, local Girl Scout troop
you
leader.
have the raspberry.
I did.
How did you get
I'm
those?
connected.
Very
They're
connected.
really good. They're really good. Thank you so much for waking up with us.
4 hours.
Say that
They
again.
sold out in 4 hours. They sold out in 4 hours.
I know,
So
because
think
these are
they're
brand
back.
new.
Congratulations.
We'll have all this information on our website. And thank you for getting up and being on our show this morning. So all the information, National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, on abc7chicago.com. Again, this is Sunday from 1 until 5 in the afternoon at Paws Chicago, their medical center on West 26th Street. Val and Terrell will be back in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
So Creed 3 is now in theaters, and Michael B. Jordan isn't just the star this time, he's the director.
Yeah, Jordan and actor Jonathan Majors were just in Chicago telling Jose Sanders about getting in the ring to rock the sequel to The Core.
How long were you locked up?
18 years, bro. Just got out last week.
Glad to have you back out, huh?
I know I've been away a long time, but I kept myself in shape. I still got gas in the tank.
Life is good for Adonis Creed until a friend from a tough time in his past appears. Damien will do whatever it takes to make up for the time he lost behind bars.
You decided the first time directing. Why jump off into the deep end like this?
That's just who I am. I sink or swim. I mean, you gotta go big and go home. And for me,
Action!
Do what I gotta do. Some of my messages. I knew it was gonna be a challenge, on a lot of different levels. But at the same time, growing up with Adonis, you know what I mean. And the first time I played a character 3 times, I knew the world. I knew the boxing. I knew what to expect for the most part. And I felt like there was nobody else I wanted to tell the story other than myself. So I just felt like it was the perfect one for me.
How has Adonis changed and evolved over the years?
I mean, in a lot of different ways. I think you see that, a boy to man, literally. I think we had the opportunity to see him fall in love, find out who he is, that be challenged, and then also, persevere through all the hardships that life brings at you,
Try spending half your life in a cell, watching somebody else live your life. I'm coming for everything. We were setting out to make the best boxing film ever, and one thing I knew I could bring to that was a adversary that had the complexities to match the hero and then push the hero and also push myself.
I need you to let go of your fear. Let go of the guilt.
So you both did Marvel, you both did fighting films, you were sexiest man alive. Next up?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's got my vote.
We got to start this campaign.
Somebody somewhere is doing it right now.
Y'all are awesome. Y'all energy is amazing. I love Chicago.
Jordan came here to promote the first Creed, and one of his early acting jobs was in our city.
My first movie I ever did, Hardball, was shot right here. About a Chicago inner city baseball team over at Cabrini Green when they used to be here. So yeah, this is like this used to be a home for me, but I love it. I love it. I'm glad to be back.
Welcome back, and welcome back to you, sir, as well.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, thank you. Good to talk to you.
All right,
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Jose Sanders, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Looks good.
We've seen them all. We're going tomorrow.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, the family loves it. I don't know, we love this Creed series.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the first time back in the theater. I'm talking about my mother, everything. Wow. We're all going tomorrow.
Whoa. Yeah, that's cool.
It is. Although I can't have the
get my parents to
popcorn.
go to the movies.
Oh, really? Oh, we love it. We pre-pandemic, we went every week. We love the movies. Yeah.
Well, it's been a big week for this guy. Michael B. Jordan, so he just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Michael B. Jordan is, Jose mentioned it, reclaiming his Sexiest Man Alive title, and fans are here for it. The Creed 3 star is featured wearing underwear for Calvin Klein's steamy New Spring 2023 campaign.
Ladies.
Right, is
do anything for you?
Michael B. Jordan, are you kidding? Of course he does.
I was sitting here waiting for it. I'm like, wait a minute.
Ask?
I was admiring the view.
That's why you were so quiet. I'm like, oh, that's what's going on.
Taking it all in. Look at that, come on.
Oh, man. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Take this in.
AccuWeather alert. We'll have some rain this morning. It's starting to push in right now, and then we'll transition over into snow. I think we'll have the heaviest of snow between about 7 p.m. And then after that, this weekend is looking pretty nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't like all those muscles, for the record.
Really?
Really? Huh. Well, what do you like?
A dad bod.
Hey, nothing wrong with that either. Hey, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you back here next week, everybody.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:56. I'm Tanya Babbage. ComEd says it is ready for the changing weather conditions that are expected today. The utility will open its emergency operations center this morning and will bring in 300 extra crews from other states. The winter storm is coming just a week after heavy rain and ice knocked out power for more than 100,000 customers around Illinois. ComEd is reminding people do not approach downed power lines. We'll check on weather and traffic up next.
Well, good morning. We're starting to see the very northern edge of this storm system start to move into our area, mixing in maybe a few flakes here for our southern suburbs. The precipitation continuing to push north, and we are expecting to get the heaviest of snow between 2 and 7 p.m. So starting off as some rain, transitioning over to some snow, and ending by about 8, 9, 10 p.m. So expecting to get 1 to 3 inches here in Chicago, just south, about 2 to 4, and into parts of northwest Indiana, we could potentially get 4 to 8. And in these areas, because it is wet, heavy snow, we are talking the chance for some power outages. Then we warm things up this weekend into the 40s. Roz?
We've got a couple of transit delays. CTA Green Line 63rd Street bound trains because of earlier police activity at the Oak Park station. Then BNSF inbound train 1242. That's going to express from Fairview to Stone Avenue for that station because they had an earlier train with a mechanical issue. So there's all kinds of things going on there. Check before you go. Expressways, not so bad. We're looking at an average 25-minute travel time on most of them heading inbound and no new crashes out there.